This video contains topics that may be distressing to some viewers. If you are triggered by depression, self-hatred, suicide, or on-screen panic attacks, I would recommend clicking off. It's time to play a game of who's gonna complain about my volume level first? My roommates? Or my neighbors? Greetings, fellow humans, human fellas. My name is Ava Marie, and welcome back to another RWBY reaction video! Today, I'm scared because I think my girl is gonna have a mental breakdown. I have my Zwei protection with me, but I don't think you can chase off depression, little buddy. So last episode was a ride and a half, and I'm still so happy. I've been watching all the reactions, I've been seeing all of the fan art. I have not been reading the fan fiction because that's just not my thing, but I've just been seeing all of the incredible, amazing reactions from people on the internet, and it's just made me so happy. This week has been incredible for this fandom, because so many people that never gave the show a chance is now giving the show a chance, and it's because of the bees. I have also been watching people experience the weird side of the fandom for the first time. So, if you or someone you know have been exposed to yours, you might be entitled to financial compensation. I remember when that meme came out. Oh god, I was 15? 16? 16. Volume 6 was 2017. I was 16. That broke my brain. We went from Yang as a cowboy to Bumblebee as cowboys to let's make Yang a centaur! Sometimes I worry for this fandom and our sanity. We are literal toddlers. There's no brain cells left here. So, I know that this is going to be a RWBY breakdown episode based on, well, both Twitter and also just my personal thoughts, because episode 7, part 7, and a 10-part story, it feels like the time for an emotional climax. And we also got gay people last episode, so that's making me think, oh god, we're gonna get depression this time. Because that's how RWBY works. We get happy, sad, or happy, sad. There's a lot of fears I have, but I feel like if I started wording out all of the things that I think is gonna happen, we're gonna be here for like 25 minutes, and we don't have time for that. A little fun note, though. The cover contest ended last Sunday, and I am happy to announce that the winner is, I don't currently know it as I'm recording, so I'm gonna put it on screen. Ta-da! Thank you guys for voting! This will be my first cover. It will be released TBA. I am in school. I am insanely busy, so I don't have a time frame for it. However, I am also going to be recording a music video with it, so you will get the cover, and then later on you will be getting a music video. Me and a friend of mine are going to be planning one out together. It's going to be a lot of fun. So excited. Thank you guys so much again for 100 subscribers. At the time I'm recording this, I'm almost at 200, which is insane to me. I am very thankful for all of you. And thank you for voting in the tournament if you did. I hope you guys enjoy the song you picked. So without any further ado, RWBY Volume 9, Episode 7, The Perils of Paper Houses. Oh no. No. Oh no. Oh, RWBY's gonna break down. Oh no, honey. I got the timing right. Oh god, RWBY's gonna be depressed. Yay, theme song! The ADHD in me is real. Sinking down into depths of nowhere, I am undone. Grasping tight onto memories, I know they'll be overrun. We must live with balance, but balance is blind. Vengeance is a riptide in a fairy tale she'll find. Inside a new me, I'm ready, but who will I find? Inside, I gotta let go, but can I lose my mind? The world I run. Mentally, I'm not ready, but okay. Oh, it's a little cream. Oh, that's fire. That's fire in a paper town. Oh boy. They slept! Finally! Wait, were the bees snuggling? No, they weren't. I thought they were. That would have been so cute. Oh, Ruby. Oh, she couldn't sleep. Oh, honey. Hello.
I'm late! I'm late! I'm late!
Jean? You good, fam?
What was that?
Oh!
I overslept.
John's on fire.
Never oversleep yesterday. Ugh. All the excitement. Get your head together. You can fix it. You always fix it.
Jean?
Look, I can't wait. I'm late. Any second, there's going to be another.
Oh.
Damn
Hello,
it.
explosions.
Right on time. Get to town. I'll meet you there.
I'm never this upset when I oversleep.
Baby.
Right on time. I'm sure we'll find out when we get down there. Ruby, where's your weapon?
Oh, sorry. Still waking up. Hurry! People are counting on us.
Okay, so she has Crescent Rose.
Whoa.
And things are on fire.
Who makes a town out of paper?
Hello.
Idiots. Precious Bean!
Welcome to our village. I
Hi!
hope that it pleases you. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you are so that we may serve you?
Aw.
Serve us? Your town is on fire.
Yeah!
No, we are quite safe. We have our hero.
Oh, Jean.
Yeah!
Sup? Aww.
Three cheers for the rusted knight and his white rabbit. Hip, hip.
Stop! Stop! Back up! There's water everywhere. You'll dissolve.
Hello, water. How may I serve you?
Hello, water.
I can't believe that almost happened. It's been ages since I missed the first fire.
Do fires happen often?
Oh, every day.
Every day?
Oh, right, I guess, introductions. These are the paper pleasers. They're probably the most polite, most hospitable afterns around. Because that's their purpose.
Oh, that's so reason.
When Alex left me to die, Juniper found help. Brought me to the paper pleasers, who got me back on my feet. They work all day. Not just serving travelers, but serving the land they live on, too. They beautify it, make it a place of peace. Unfortunately, they're a bit clumsy, but that also makes them predictable. I told you to hold these.
Thank you, brave knight.
Classic Ren.
You named them? After your teammates?
No, I named them after everybody.
Hello. I am the one called Ruby.
Oh, no!
Hate that.
Okay, the disastrous lighting of the morning lantern is dealt with. That gives us just enough time to strategize before the calming Pebble Tower crumbles, crushing the Koi Pond Dam, and flooding the entire village, so I'm thinking... quick brunch?
I could eat.
My life's work. Over the years, Juniper and I have been systematically exploring as many of the nearby acres as possible. If you think you've seen it all here, let me tell you.
Jean's a single mom who works 2 jobs and loves his kids and never stops.
What exactly have you been looking for?
Anyone or anything that might be able to take us back home.
Okay, and what have you found?
Nothing.
So far, I mean, not much, but I've got a really good feeling about this 1 acre we saw with a bunch of pyramids.
Sorry, I'm just
Illuminati?
trying to make sure I follow. Do you have any leads at all? Any other plans?
This is the plan. Look, I'm sorry I didn't solve all our problems by myself, but I can't just run off and let them die. But between protecting the village, searching for you guys, and searching for an exit, we've got a really tight schedule to keep. Or rather, you've got a tight schedule to keep.
I beg your pardon?
This is the schedule of catastrophes that befall the village every day, or at least
Jesus!
one for me in June. With this, you guys can save the day no problem, which means I can go out to keep searching without any interruptions. With Juniper's speed and my familiarity with this place, we'll find our solution in no time. Guys, this is it. Look, if there's one thing I've learned after all these years, it's that patience pays off. It's why we're finally
Bumblebee
back
fans.
together. I know I can find us a way out, okay? I know it. I know it!
Oh gosh.
This isn't crazy.
John
I'm not
kind of
crazy.
is. It kind of is, buddy.
This isn't crazy, it's easy.
No, it's not.
You know, we still got time before the Pebble Tower falls. How about I
Ruby.
saddle
She's
up
not even
Juniper and
reacting
show you
anymore.
around myself? Point out some of the clumsier papers. Just wait till you guys meet Neptune.
Damn it, John. This isn't a plan, it's a to-do list.
He's obviously been through a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can be frustrated later. Right now, Jean needs us. And we
Ruby.
still need him. We just can't count on him.
Ruby?
Then who does that leave us with? It's obvious we need someone to guide us, or we could end up thrown back in time, or killed by the tree, or worse. Well, if that's how
The
everybody...
great tree does not kill.
Hello.
That is what we keep trying to tell him. But our hero still insists that we never ascend.
What?
I do not wish to be rude, but our work has been completed for quite some time. Because of us, the land is beautiful, but we have realized that, like ourselves, it is also very delicate. We would like to make something that is pleasing, but also resilient. Because
Yeah.
of this, we are ready to leave ourselves and merge with the tree, so that it might return us as something new. But our hero is displeased by this course of action. We tried reaching out to the tree, but our hero forbade it.
Oh my.
Then, the wisest of our village suggested breaking from our physical forms so that the winds may carry us back to the tree. But our
They
hero
d-
is
they wanna-
clever and brave, always keeping us from harm. You must understand, the tree does not kill, it resurrects and rebuilds. We do not wish to displease our hero, and I hope I have not displeased you, but we so desperately wish to return to the tree, to return home, so that we may carry on with our work.
Return home, huh?
Oh, do not be sad. The wisest are going to topple the Pebble Tower today. I am sure it will work this time.
What makes you so sure?
Nothing.
They just.
That's so sad. Weird, but sad.
But it also means Jean might not be totally right about the tree. It's
Yeah.
not death, it's rebirth.
From a certain perspective, maybe. But
From other perspectives.
what happened to Lewis then? Jean said...
Jean wasn't there. The cat wasn't even there. None of us know the full story, and we'll never learn anything babysitting
Ruby,
these
say
villagers.
something.
We have to convince Jean to let them go.
But how? He's clearly not all there.
Is that what you think?
Oh god.
But what if the cat was telling the truth? Maybe not about everything, but about the tree.
The tree's the last thing you should listen to them about. They're just doing what they're designed to do. They don't care what happens when you get there.
We're not listening to them. We're listening to the Afterans. And they're telling us that the tree is nothing to be afraid of. That they want to go.
They don't know what they want. You've seen the way they act. Nothing here is that straightforward, okay? Afterans are all either too clever, too stupid, or too crazy to trust.
Then why do you care so much about this village?
Because I can actually protect these people!
Oh my gosh.
Ruby hasn't said anything. Oh, I don't think that was planned.
Found us. I am not letting them down.
That was slick.
If those walkers make it down here, those Afterans will never ascend.
Then we won't run this time.
Ruby. Good. Oh god, she's forcing herself.
Thank you.
Yo, Casey! Let go of her girl. There's Ruby. Where's Ruby? Ruby? Honey. Ruby. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh, honey. Honey. Oh, hun. No! Oh my god. This is so much worse than I thought.
Ruby!
Is it Neo? It's Neo! Oh no!
The walkers from the market.
But those were more than just her usual tricks. They eat and grow, and how has she gotten so powerful?
Well, she didn't do it by standing around. I know you may not care about protecting this village, but you could at least help your friends when they're in danger.
Ruby?
This is...
Are you okay?
I am pissed at John right now.
No, what time is it? No!
I'm free!
Oh, Sean.
I couldn't save them. I was supposed to save them, and they're dead.
No, Jean. They're gone.
Oh god, that
But
was...
they're not dead. They'll be back.
Yeah, it's what they wanted. Right, Ruby?
Ruby.
Why are you asking me?
Ruby.
We just...
Because I'm the leader?
Ruby.
Because I'm just supposed to have something to say? Because I don't. I mean, why do I have to be the leader anyway? Why do I have to always be the one to pick people up? What about me? No time, right? Gotta get home. Gotta help Jean. Gotta find someone who isn't just going to screw everything up. Gotta stay positive, right? Smiles all around. Maybe even finally get our feelings sorted out. Good for you, by the way. We're all so happy for you.
Hey,
I'm sorry, is this a bad time? Are we supposed to be mourning Jean's make-believe friends?
They're gone because of you. The walkers came for you because Neo hates you. Oh, and let's not forget the reason we're in the Ever After in the first place is because of your plan that didn't work. What about you? It's all about you.
Jean.
Slap
I'm sorry,
his face!
I know I'm not okay. I'm not right, but how am I supposed to be? I've been alone for so long. Here, on that bridge, I was the only one that could do it. I was the only one. And now I have to live with that forever. In here or back home.
Guys, I know things are bad, but
Shut up.
Ruby,
Don't do that.
Ruby.
Just don't.
Oh my god. Where'd she go? Oh, honey. Hey everybody, it's a few days later. I made the decision to wait to discuss the episode until I was in a better mental place because, as you all probably saw by my reaction, the ending of that episode hit me in a very deep way. So, I felt that it wasn't healthy for me to react to the episode in such a raw state. So, I waited until I was in a better mental place, and I feel I am now. The rest of this discussion will still have the trigger warning from the beginning of this video, depression, self-hatred, suicide, and I will most likely talk about panic attacks because I feel that RWBY has had one in the episode, so I will be discussing themes like that throughout this discussion, so just be advised. So to start this discussion, I would like to discuss the paper pleasers and the way that they discussed ascension in the episode. I'm gonna remove death from the equation entirely because it does sort of reference that ascension is sort of like death and reincarnation. For me, because I don't like discussing death that much, I connected it to sort of like just moving on from an old life you used to live. It's like when you have a job and the job transfers you because you've done all you need to do in that place, so you get transferred to a new place. It's just, for the paper pleasers, it involves death. Or all of the ever afterins, it involves death. I know they don't see it as death, but it is very much described to be they leave this mortal world, they come back as something new, which is death and reincarnation, basically. Jean, throughout the episode, you can absolutely tell, and he points it out at the end, that he is not all there. And it's because he's been alone for the past 10, 20, maybe even 30 years. And when you are alone for that long, knowing what's going to happen in the real world, it really can mess you up. He's basically just had to deal with everything on his own. He's had to mentally process everything on his own for who knows how long. And when you have to do that, it doesn't end well most of the time. Jean and Ruby are sort of in similar boats right now. It's similar yet somehow the opposite. Ruby hasn't had the time to let herself mourn everything that happened in Atlas yet. She hasn't had the time to mourn Penny. She hasn't had the time to mourn their failure and mourn the fact that Atlas is gone. Weiss has let herself mourn a bit more than her. She hasn't really had a full chance, but she's let herself mourn more. And then Blake and Yang, yes, the loss has affected them, but it didn't affect them nearly as much as Weiss did, who lost her home, and Ruby did, who lost her best friend for the second and final time. Jean, on the other hand, has had absolutely nothing but time to mourn and to think about what happened. And when you are alone for that long, drowning yourself in your own thoughts, it becomes the point where you start to believe terrible, terrible things, or just things that are absolutely wrong. And that's kind of how Jean did it. In the end, it led him to blaming Ruby for it because it was Ruby's idea to save Atlas. At this point in time, Ruby still doesn't know about Jean killing Penny. And I know that Jean doesn't want to tell her because he probably believes that she'll do the same thing that he did and blame him for it. When in reality, it wasn't his fault because Penny was already dying, and two, she requested it. She requested it to be a mercy kill. Suicide seems to be a bit of a theme in this past volume and a half because Penny in Volume 8 requested to be killed before her actual death. During the possession, her hacking, she requested for Ruby to kill her. And she said, if you kill me, I will make sure that the maiden powers go to you. You will have it. You will be the new Winter Maiden. And they figured out a way out of that one. But when the time came with the fight with Cinder, there was no time to come up with another plan. The only option in Penny's eyes was that she needed to transfer the power to somebody else. And I'm sure if Ruby were there, she would have transferred it to Ruby. I mean, she might have still transferred it to Winter. She may have gone with the more tactical route even in that moment. But Penny believed that Team Ruby was dead. Penny was mortally wounded, and Jean could have healed her. However, there wasn't enough time because they were in the middle of a fight. It was 3 people versus a overly powerful maiden. In Volume 5, he was able to save Weiss because there was enough backup for them. But in this instance, there just wasn't. Weiss can't hold her own against basically a god. And Penny realized that. The trend continues with the Ever Afterins, with how much they have accepted that Ascension is a part of life. They see it not as the end of their life, but as the next step in their life. And I feel like, honestly, RWBY, she's not going to ascend the same way they do, but I feel like the theme of ascension is kind of what they're alluding towards for RWBY's character. The Paper Pleasers have lived their entire lives to do one thing. They completed that task and they are no longer able to move on because they're being forced to stay in the roles that they were meant to stay in. They were meant to be, they're being forced to be, who they've always been by Jean. And with RWBY, she no longer wants to be the happy-go-lucky huntress girl anymore because it doesn't fit her anymore. So I think that the ascension theme is kind of going with what RWBY's going through right now. I feel like she's gonna ascend into a new character at the end of this season. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, RWBY's gonna literally become someone new. I'm saying like RWBY is not going to be the same girl after this season. And I think that the Paper Pleasers is kind of an allegory for that. RWBY doesn't want to be the person that she is seen to be anymore. And neither did the Paper Pleasers. The Paper Pleasers eventually did succeed in getting that ascension. And I know RWBY's not going to be doing something as drastic as dying to get that ascension, but I think that RWBY is going to, at the end of the season, make that drastic change in order to grow as a person, to ascend as a person. I really enjoyed the fight scene this episode. Something that I don't know if we've ever seen in the show. If we have, we've only seen it a few times besides the Volume 8 fight, but then again, they were kind of out of options. Weiss and Jean team up. That was kind of cool. Of course, Blake and Yang paired up because Bumblebee. You don't separate the girlfriends. We learned that in Volume 7. The fight choreography was great. I really enjoyed it. Neo's appearance at the end was great. She is genuinely terrifying to me, and she has only showed up for a grand total of 2 minutes this season. So now getting into the actual part of this video that deserves the trigger warning. RWBY's breakdown. I did not notice this until I read the lyrics a bit later, but the song for the episode Trapdoor, the chorus of it, is very much based on RWBY. I think that Trapdoor is a RWBY song. The chorus is, "You don't need me anymore. No, you don't see me anymore. I try my best to leave the floor, but I can't get past the door." I think that's very much talking about RWBY and how she doesn't feel seen. She doesn't feel heard by her teammates and her family and her friends. She wants to scream out, but she doesn't know how to do it healthily. She is just so traumatized by everything that has happened to her in the past 2 years that when the time came that she needed to actually fight, she couldn't anymore because she blames herself for so much that I feel like she's afraid that if she does fight, she'll mess it up again. A lot of plans have happened in the show because of RWBY. Examples include Tyrion in season 4, the Hound in season 8. Cinder and Neo's plan was based on the relic, but it was also based on getting RWBY. So the way RWBY sees it is that everybody that has been injured or died during this entire time, she blames herself for because it was either her being the catalyst of them deciding to come there or it was her plan. So I feel like the way Ruby sees it is that if she doesn't fight, she can't hurt anybody. But we saw in this episode that her not fighting resulted in the paper pleasers ascension, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. The paper pleasers, they literally have been begging to ascend for years, so I'm not saying that is a bad thing. What I'm saying is that Ruby absolutely blames herself for it. And while she did lash out and say like, "Oh, they weren't real," she definitely blames herself for it because she doesn't want anybody to be hurt because of her. But it just keeps happening in her eyes. Her breakdown was very, very well done. Lindsay Jones and Miles Luna, Jesus Christ, y'all deserve all the awards for that one. The reason why I had such a bad reaction to Ruby's breakdown was because a few years ago I was in a very similar situation and I reacted in a very similar way. So it kind of took me back to that moment. And it's definitely not something I'm ready to talk about. But it's just me knowing that I know exactly what Ruby was feeling in that moment, because she has been just holding it in for so long. And then everybody turns around and blames her for what happened and gets angry at her over something that she had no control over. And it just finally bursts out in one very explosive way. And it's not a healthy way. She said the wrong things. She said things in the heat of the moment that can't be taken back. And I know that her and Jean's relationship, they were super close friends. Jean was the first friend that Ruby ever made by herself. Their relationship, even if they're become super close again, is never fully going to be the same because of what happened. Jean, at the same time, he also did not have a healthy reaction at all to this situation. He at least admitted that there was something wrong, but at the same time, he immediately turned to blaming Ruby for everything that's happened. He blamed her for every bad thing that has happened over the course of these past 2 years in show. From Beacon to Haven to Atlas to the Paper Pleasers to being stuck in the Ever After to Penny's death to Pyrrha's death to everybody dying at this point. Jean needed someone to blame for everything that has been happening. And when Ruby came, I feel like he thinks that he found it in Ruby. So him yelling at her also brought me back to that traumatic moment because, again, that entire scene was very similar to a very traumatic event in my life, so that is why I reacted the way I did. And again, I apologize for having such a emotionally driven reaction, but I left it in because I felt that it needed to be, because mental health is real, and it's okay to not be okay. And I feel like showing that I wasn't okay after this episode isn't the worst thing in the world. I always say that Ruby and I are very similar, and this episode 100% proved that we really are very similar in the way we react to things, because when we bury our feelings so deep down that when it finally explodes, it's very destructive. It hurts people because we use the wrong words, because we don't have time to think. We've been thinking so much that when everything finally comes out, we are no longer thinking, we're just spewing. She went after, at first it was self-insulting. She was insulting herself. That's how she started the rant. And she was basically saying that was how she saw herself. And she went after Blake and Yang for a second. And the fact of the matter is that knowing RWBY, she is happy for Blake and Yang. She's really happy that they got together. She's just, in her eyes, the ever after, all it has done is just throw everything, all of her issues, just straight in her face. Yet at the same time, Blake and Yang are over there, and the ever after is just like, now kiss. So RWBY's just like, how is it fair that they are getting their happily ever after here, whereas I'm over here just getting absolutely dumped on by the world? RWBY hasn't really had a positive experience since entering the ever after. Even meeting Little, she was upset in the moment. When she found her teammates again, she immediately after finds out Penny died. So RWBY has been in a very high emotional state since entering the ever after, and the herbalist did not help with that, because all of that did was just tell her that you are a failure. You will never be who you wanted to be. And if you're not who you are, then what are you? I think I have a prediction on how this season will end. Throughout this entire volume, there has been a theme of who are you? It's been asked almost every episode by somebody. And Weiss, Blake, and Yang are, in episode 4, we saw that they were able to answer it. RWBY, on the other hand, can't. I think at the end of this volume, it's either going to be RWBY answering the question or admitting to herself that she doesn't know the answer to the question. Because if I were in that situation, I mean, RWBY is a million times stronger than me, because she's still there. I don't know if my mental health could have made it as far as RWBY's did. It's incredible, just the fact that she's still there. That in itself should be a victory for her. But it's not in her eyes. In her eyes, her still being there is just proof that she's failed, and because of that, people are dead, and yet somehow she's still there. I am not a mental health professional. I'm not a therapist. I don't know anything about this sort of thing, but I hope I'm saying the right thing. If I'm not, I deeply apologize, but this is the way that I have been interpreting this. This is a very, very downer video. And I apologize for that. I think what RWBY needs isn't to hear, oh, it's okay, things will get better. I think what RWBY needs right now is for someone to say, it's not your fault. You're okay. You did everything you could. And what happened after was not your fault. I feel like RWBY doesn't need to hear that everything's gonna be okay. I think RWBY just needs to hear that it's not her fault. Because sometimes people just need to be told that they are loved. Because at this point, RWBY, she's surrounded by friends and family, yet she feels alone. I mean, if you saw during the fight, she was watching her team and Jean fight just fine without her. She doesn't feel needed because when she was needed, she failed. So why would they need her anymore? At least that's how she sees it in her eyes. I think Jean feels the same way that RWBY does. Just that he's failed so many times that he doesn't think the world needs him anymore. Yet he is doing the opposite. Jean is trying to force himself into that hero mentality. He's trying to make himself be the hero that everyone wants him to be, that he thinks he needs to be. Yet at the same time, RWBY is doing the opposite. She's trying to stop. She's trying to make herself unseen. She doesn't want to be the leader. She just wants for somebody else to take some of the burden off of her, but she can't at this point, because if she doesn't do it, then who will? I think that the scene of RWBY's panic attack was very well done. I think that it was realistic. I myself do not have that form of panic attack I'm calling it a panic attack. It was kind of more like a PTSD attack. I'm kind of lumping them into the same pile there. If I'm wrong, I apologize. While I don't have that same thing, RWBY and I do have one thing similar in that, is that we go pretty much catatonic. We can't do anything but just stand there and watch as the world around us kind of just falls apart. That's why I left the video after the episode, because I felt that beginning and I needed to get off camera before I just sat here for 20 minutes just silent and not moving. However, unlike mine, RWBY was currently in the middle of fighting a giant monster, so that monster took advantage of that. And I think Neo knows how bad RWBY's anxiety and PTSD is at this point, because, I mean, for one, she saw it in action, but at the same time, she knows how much RWBY's been hurt because she was one of the people who have hurt RWBY the most. I think that RWBY versus Neo is kind of inevitable at this point. I have 3 theories on what will happen there. I think that one, RWBY's gonna either try to ignore Neo, or / she's just gonna give up. I think she's just gonna be like, you win, whatever, do what you want, I don't care. 2, I think that she will start yelling at Neo and be like, look at what you've done, look at how much you've destroyed, you're a terrible person, I didn't even kill him, I didn't even kill Roman, why are you blaming me for something that I had no control over? I didn't make the Grim Bird eat him. Neo doesn't know that it was a Grim Bird. But, and then option number 3, which this one's really dark. I think they may fight, and RWBY might go overboard and accidentally kill her. Because at this point, when you are in that deep of a mental depression, you sometimes don't realize what you are doing. RWBY didn't realize the words she was saying in the moment. RWBY might not realize the strength she's using in the moment if she fights Neo. I definitely believe that Neo is the final boss of this volume, and we have 3 episodes to go. So I think that fight is either going to start next episode or episode 9. I honestly think that episode 10, it's going to have aspects of the fight in it, but I feel like the real climax of this volume, because pretty much every RWBY volume has a fight as its climax, I think volume 9 is meant to be a more emotional climax. This entire place, it kind of reminds me of Infinity Train, where you go and you get force therapy, basically. RWBY running at the end of the fight is also very similar to what I do in that sort of situation. And when you're in a stressful situation like that, there are basically 3 options: fight, flight, freeze. And both me and RWBY, we flight very often. If it for us, it's either flight or freeze, which we saw with RWBY with the Jabberwocker. She froze, but when it came to her friends, when it came to confronting emotions like she needed to, she fled. So when it comes to RWBY, I feel like for physical overstimulants, it's more of a freeze, but for emotional overstimulants, it's more of a flight, which I feel we've seen in past volumes. We saw it in volume 8 with her screaming about how nothing will change. They're leaving Atlas to die. We're no better than them. And she ran out of the room afterward. And then when it came to Salem, her talking to Salem in volume 7, I think, Salem threatened her, discussed her mother, and RWBY became so terrified of the situation that she froze and she collapsed. So RWBY's main methods of reacting to stress is flight or freeze. RWBY doesn't react to stress by fighting very often, except, as we saw in this episode, when she blows up. She fought, and then she fled. If I included my attempt at a discussion, you will have already seen it, but if not, basically the gist of why I had such a visceral reaction was because, one, the event that I mentioned earlier in this, but also a lot of what RWBY said really connects with my own life. She has friends but feels alone. She's a part of a situation that she feels like she can't get out of. She doesn't feel like she can win. And no matter what she does, it's all her fault. And nobody will tell her otherwise. I really liked this episode. However, I don't believe this is an episode that I can watch again anytime soon, because I know myself, and I know that if I try to watch it again, I might have the same visceral, emotional, and overwhelmed reaction. I didn't expect for this show to have such a good depiction of panic attacks, PTSD, and mental illness, and just what happens when you force your feelings down for so long. But it really did. It handled it well. And I hope that the rest of the season handles it as well as this episode. I'm definitely not saying that, oh, it's good because I relate to it, because everybody's mental health experience is different. Ruby's and I just happen to be very, very similar. That being said, I always say in my videos, I've said it multiple times, that it's okay to not be okay. And in my outro, I say to please take care of yourselves both physically and mentally. And that's because mental health really does matter. And your physical body and your mental state are just as important. Without one, you can't have the other functioning properly. So in saying that, I plan on putting in my description numbers and email addresses for places that you can look to if you need help, because there is help. There are people willing to help you. The world can be a really crappy place, and there will always be people out there who are willing to make it a little less crappy. You don't have to do things alone. You don't have to fight the world alone. Just sometimes you need help. And there is no shame in asking for help. You don't need to do things alone. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all are having an amazing day wherever you are in the world. Please be sure to take care of yourself both physically and mentally. I love you all. See you later. So if you guys stuck around to the end, I have a little pick-me-up for you. Before I began filming the actual reaction to the episode, my roommate and I had a discussion. What I did not realize was that for the entire discussion, my microphone was recording and so was my camera. So to give you guys a little bit of a pick-me-up, here is Stupid Conversations with Avery featuring my roommate. Greetings, fellow humans, human fellas. My name is Avery Marie, and welcome back to another RWBY reaction video. Today, I forgot to hit the button, so I need to start that over. Don't laugh at me during the episode, it'll pick you up. You're just gonna hear me crying.
Wait, I can't leave the room when you're recording, right?
Yeah, but I'm not recording right now. If you need to leave the room, you can.
I'm gonna eventually leave because I need to go to the bathroom. So I should...
Yeah, go now.
I just need to pack my stuff.
Are you just not gonna come back?
No, because my friends, they invited me out tonight, so
Aw,
I go.
have fun. Don't die.
Not guaranteed.
No
You never
dying.
know, it could be like
Yeah, we live in
signboard falls on my head.
I mean, we live in Atlanta.
Projects. That's true.
Also, this has been recording the audio the whole time.
Oh. Wait, so that's recorded the video, wait, no?
No, the video is too. I forgot to hit stop.
Oh, bro.
You're not in frame. It's just picking you up. I'm putting that in the video. RWBY Volume 9, Episode 7 reaction featuring my roommate in the first 2 minutes.
Oh, jeez. So at least I didn't say anything inappropriate this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut a few things you said in the Dragon Prince reactions out. Somebody actually posted today, he posted, "What's your favorite thing about Callum?" And I responded, "His girlfriend." Oh, shoot! You okay?
Yeah, the books aren't
The books didn't like that joke. The books didn't like that I was joking about stealing Callum's girl.
Oh, nope. They can sense it.
But what I was, what the reference I made was actually about Bumblebee.
Now
Back in Volume 7.
they're scoring.
They are scoring.
Actually slay, you know?
RWBY, now with gay people. We've had gay
I
people.
was about to say, RWBY.
RWBY, now with more gay people.
Wait, but it's the same two gay people from the beginning. Wait.
RWBY, now with more confirmed gay people. Jesus! Who was the first I think it was Scarlet was the first confirmed gay character.
I'm tired enough that I was supposed to say Darius the Baker. Wait, that's wrong.
Darius the Baker is a gay icon! Wrong show!
You know what he's trying to say with those jelly tarts.
I think the best part is, I think Darius is voiced by Jason. I am absolutely gonna message Jason. This is my life. And then after this, I have to work on cosplay and draw naked people.
Hopefully not the same project, right?
No. And then I have to I get to make Bumblebee fan art for a grade. Yay! It's 20% of my grade.
Oh! Man, no matter how fun the assignment grades are.
I had to go to an IKEA for this project like a true sapphic.
IKEA?
Yeah.
IKEA is sapphic?
Home Depot is more sapphic. Home Depot is more sapphic, but IKEA's got gay vibes.
Home Depot sapphic.
Yeah! Oh my god, are you kidding me? The two most gay corporations that aren't explicitly gay is Home Depot and U-Haul. Have you never heard of U-Hauling lesbians?
Oh, if a girl goes there. I was about to say, I was like, all the most sapphic men I've ever seen in Home Depot.
There's no such thing as a sapphic man! A sapphic man is a straight guy!
That's why I'm so confused.
A sapphic person is a woman who likes a woman, so it includes lesbian, bi, pan, all that.
You ever heard of Steven the Lesbian? This is the most dumb animation you've ever seen.
That's why people call Blake and Yang, they don't just call them a gay couple, they're a sapphic couple because Blake's bi.
Ah, I see. Sapphic is a better word in my opinion, though. It just sounds more florid. You know what I mean?
They aren't just Ladella beans.
Wow.
Wow. Feels like I've waited forever for that. Jean Arc speaking like a true RWBY fan.
Now, would it be appropriate to call him Daddy, though?
Get...
No, someone else has already made that joke.
No, everybody's been making that joke. Everybody's been making that joke.
That's the last note I have. That's all I'm gonna say.
Get out.
Mic drop.
Stop being